The neocons' response to 9/11 was caused by feelings of helplessness being transferred to others in a process of projective identification. One of the things I found very disturbing in government gang stalking is the participation in it by suppressed minorities who you would think would have been sensitized to this outrageous repression. For instance, it was Michael Mukasey, a Jew, who was the Attorney General, who by changing the FBI guidelines made government gang stalking, a new COINTELPRO program, possible. And it was Dianne Feinstein, a Jew, who as chairperson of the Senate Intelligence Committee was responsible for oversight of our out-of-control intelligence industrial complex, who turned a blind eye to government gang stalking and let it and the national security police state go on. I also found it incomprehensible that black people, too, engage in government gang stalking, that the neocons, who sprung from a significantly Jewish group of intellectuals, were so largely responsible for the growth of the American police state. Why is it that people who have been historically among the most outrageous victims of suppression would participate in the suppression of others in programs like government gang stalking? Kurt J. Schneider, in his book, The Polarized Mind, Why It's Killing Us and What We Can Do About It, gives us an explanation. It is trauma caused by the repression of their own point of view, which often results in the victims of such outrageous abuse, abusing others by repressing the point of view of others. Thus we see Michael Mukasey, Dianne Feinstein, allowing repressive programs like government gang stalking to go on, even though it was the Jews who suffered some of the world's most horrid abuse at the hands of the Nazi. Unconscious feelings of impotence, helplessness, resulting from their own traumatized history as a people, is visited on others in repressive police state programs like government gang stalking. There is another term beside the term polarization which Kurt Schneider uses to describe this phenomena, and that is projective identification. R.D. Lang explained this unconscious phenomena thus: the one person does not use the other merely as a hook to hang projections on. He or she strives to find in the other or to induce in the other to become the very embodiment of projection. Feelings which cannot be consciously accessed are defensively projected into another person in order to evoke the thoughts or feelings projected. One of the goals of government gang stalking is to induce in the target of mobbing by hundreds and through a lifetime thousands of people feelings of helplessness. The recipient of the projection may suffer a loss of both identity and insight as they are caught up in and manipulated by the other person's fantasies. We learn in the article in Wikipedia on projective identification. People who have been subjected to authoritarian styles of parenthood also are among the perpetuators of government gang stalking. A kind of identification with the aggressor takes place as the unacknowledged feelings of helplessness they once experienced as victims of abuse is now projected into the people they heap abuse on, suppress, or repress. Without consciousness, the cycle of abuse continues. Thus, Kurt Schneider says, polarization is the scourge of the 21st century, and 9/11 set it off anew. Wikipedia, in defining this process of projective identification, says, projective identification can become a self-fulfilling process whereby a person believing something false about another influences or coerces that other person to carry out that precise projection. Thus, those we define as terrorists in a process that labels their aggression as terror, while ignoring our own aggression, as has been done in the United States, become terrorists. We use projective identification to get rid of unwanted emotions. How do you get rid of feelings of helplessness, of death anxiety, staring in the face the possibility of your own death after 9/11, especially when you harbored feelings of exceptionality? You project it on others. you make others feel the helplessness, the impotence you feel in programs like government gang stalking and labeling others terrorists without acknowledging the system dynamics which led to their grievances. The solution Kurt Schneider puts forth is akin to a new paradigm, something he calls a culture of awe, where we accept our human vulnerability, accept our smallness in a vast, powerful, incomprehensible universe, and approach it with awe. The alternative is to lie to ourselves and put forth defenses like, we are exceptional, and to make others experience the feelings of smallness, of impotence, of helplessness we do not acknowledge in ourselves, that are part of the human condition, but especially traumatize us when we are suppressed under the boot of authoritarianism that disregards our separate points of view, who we really are outside their projections.